Welcome to the Scalable Real Estate Investing Podcast, where we discuss the most scalable strategies, tools, and approaches to successfully invest in real estate. Learn how to make the most impact of your time, automate your real estate investing business, find off-market deals with minimum time invested, and leverage your capital to create as many income streams as possible so that you can achieve true financial independence. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Mason Clement. Hi, scalable investors. Before we get into today's episode, I'd like to tell you about a group that I'm a part of called Hivemind. If you're serious about taking the next step in your real estate investing career, then this is definitely a group that you need to join. Some of our members are making $90,000 or more per month and as much as $300,000 on just one deal. And at the same time, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars like you typically would joining other mastermind groups. This is only $99 per month. And when you join, you'll gain access to a robust integrated CRM software that allows you to track your leads, run automated triggers, and ultimately scale your marketing efforts. So the difference here is that you're not left high and dry, but gain access to a support network that allows you to use that tool and learn from other more experienced real estate investors. So to learn more, go to scalablerei.com/Hivemind. That's HIVEMIND. Thanks a lot. Let's get into the episode. All right. Hi, scalable investors. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Scalable Real Estate Investing. I'm your host, Mason Clement. And today we have with us two founders of Hivemind CRM. Hivemind is, like I said before recording this, a really powerful CRM software that I personally use for my business. So naturally, I had to get the owners on here and really go into depth about what is Hivemind, why they started it, and all that. So before I steal their thunder, how are we doing today, Daniel and Anthony? What's going on?
Hey, really good, Mason. Thanks for having us on, buddy.
Yeah, I'm really good. I'm really excited to be here. And this is our second podcast, so we're excited to spread the knowledge and power that we're providing to the real estate world.
Perfect. Well, like we were talking about before recording, I'm sure about a year from now, everyone's going to know your name. So this is pretty exciting. It's going to be really big. So before we get into Hivemind and everything, why don't we just talk about y'all's background and what drew you into real estate and why you got involved and what got you to where you are now?
For me, I kind of fell into real estate. It was out of necessity. I was operating a trucking business. I actually am ex-truck driver, started my own trucking company, went down that road, and then it was a lot more stress and money than I anticipated. So I ended up pivoting into real estate and real estate data and skip tracing. And then Anthony and I saw an opportunity to start a CRM. So that's kind of where we went with that. But it was out of necessity because trucking is difficult. And anybody who's driven a truck or any dealt with that business, it's a very difficult business.
Yeah, mine was a very seamless process, man. So I have a background in construction. You know, I was a kid. I was in boxing. I thought I was going to be a famous boxer. My dad's like, get in the truck. You're going to work. So, okay, you know, Mexican dad, construction stuff. So that's kind of how I started. And it was either feast or famine for us. Like we either had a ton of work or no work at all. So I started dabbling with online lead generation, online marketing, got really good at it. We hired all of our friends and family members, and then we started hiring other subcontractors, and I was still getting more leads. So I started just selling the jobs, you know, being the subcontractor, you know, and it kept moving in that direction. I lucked into real estate because I was looking to buy some land for myself so I can build a house. And I started looking at YouTube videos on how to buy real estate for cheap. Came across the term wholesaling, and the rest is history, man. I didn't know that you can use marketing for lead generation for real estate. I didn't know that that was a superpower in the real estate world. So it was a seamless transition. I just knew that I was going to be in real estate from here forward. I have since, you know, almost tapered off my roofing and construction company entirely. And now I'm doing pure real estate. So yeah, it's kind of got lucky. I think it was a series of lucky events.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. So what is Hivemind and why did y'all decide this? And how does it differ from other softwares?
Yeah, so the vision with Hivemind is, I'm sorry, Dan, you want to go?
No, you're good.
Yeah, the vision of Hivemind kind of, it grew from marketing lead generation, right? So I realized a long time ago that if you target a small geographic area, your marketing efforts are more expensive. And the broader you are with your marketing efforts, the cost goes way down. So I always dreamed up a nationwide or a global company driven by lead generation. So once I got into the real estate world, I realized that would be super applicable, right? So if I get a lead in Seattle, if I get a lead in Florida, if I get a lead in California, what do I do to field that lead and to try to close that deal if I'm not in that market? So I thought it would be great to be able to connect with other leaders and other markets that understand and know that market very well and have connections there, like attorneys and other partners, capital, that kind of stuff. So that was the kind of the driving factor behind Hivemind, is for us to be able to generate leads all over the country, be completely omnipresent, and do leads in every single market.
So the biggest thing was for us is that a lot of people have big teams, but it gets cumbersome. It's a lot of management and a lot of it can get a lot of mental on your brain to make sure, because you're feeding other people's families. But when you support other people that are supporting themselves, there's infinite possibility and infinite scale that you can hit nationwide. So I think the biggest thing that we love about it is that we can count on other people in other markets to take pictures. Maybe they have people in their network locally that we can leverage. And when you can leverage other people nationwide, you're infinite scale, because you always can make a call and find somebody there locally. So it has a huge scalability factor, and it gives you as a user and us as owners and everybody a part of it leverage nationwide.
Okay, I think that's explaining part of the picture. That's like the human capital part of it, and I think that's what really differentiates it, which obviously answered my question really well. But there's still like the software side of it. So maybe there's I'm a new investor. I'm not really sure what is a CRM, what is that acronym, and so what could I actually do in the software itself, and as it kind of complements the other human, both boots on the ground aspect.
So CRM is customer relations management software. So it's just for managing people. We really focus on what the Hivemind can do as far as outside of it, because all softwares, all CRMs are all work the same. Yes, we might have other tools that we can provide, like we do SMS, email, website hosting, unlimited users, unlimited websites, and there's a lot of definitely like for us personally, we're spending about $700 a month just for the tools and services, not even marketing costs, lists, skip tracing, all that other stuff on top of it. So for us, we're trying to drive the cost down for just marketing tools. So essentially with our software, it brings all the tools in-house, so you don't have to pay for all these different companies and different services and leverage Zapier to connect it all. Like with everything in one system, you can control, you can see it all visually. There's KPIs, there's internal triggers to connect everything together. There's emails, there's calls, Google My Business, SEO, websites. With everything all in one system, you can control it all versus having separate systems you have to learn differently. Whereas if you learn our one system, you can learn everything all together all at once and don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you want to integrate a new system. So for us, like I said, like we've had other users, they're saving like $700 plus on just all their tools and services. So for us, we're trying to provide a better quality product at a lower price point. That way, any new investor can afford to put more money to marketing, because if you're not doing marketing, you're not going to get any lead inbound. You're not going to get any leads inbound to actually provide a service. So if you have more money for marketing, you can have to do more deals. If you need assistance in every way, like one of the biggest things about the Hivemind is that everybody has faults, insecurities, stuff they're not comfortable doing. And everybody has things that they're great at. They might have been doing it for 5-10 years. They're confident in talking to sellers, or confident in negotiations, or confident in just doing whatever they're good at. So one thing about the Hive is that whatever you're good at, you can leverage it in our system, because if you need assistance in any way, either we can provide that resource, or we can provide a VA that provides that resource, and we can fill in the gaps of wherever you're missing as an individual to help you make sure you're doing the best you can do with your software.
Okay, that makes sense. I think something that really appeals to me about it is that I could probably find a comparable CRM software out there, but I might be just kind of left high and dry because I don't have that mastermind component of it. So you're getting, instead of spending like 20 or 50,000 or whatever it is on some crazy mastermind course that you found or group, you can get access just by paying the monthly fee that you would pay anyway for your software, but you get like a free mastermind on top of it, where you get to learn from other more experienced investors that can tell you actually how to do deals and how to leverage that software to do more deals. Is it something that you'd agree with?
100%. And like even the people that we're bringing in now, like if you need a system with short sales, we're bringing in niche specific professionals that have been like our short sales specialist, Matt Miranoff. He's been doing short sales for 16 years. He is by all means, a very skilled professional that's doing short sales nationwide. So for us bringing him into the Hive, he now has resources to provide to all of our users, that if anybody needs assistance, they have any questions about that, they have a direct person that is very experienced in that niche that can answer those questions. So it's providing all the tools in one, not just the system itself. You get the data skip tracing, you get short sales specialists, you get we have a VA loan specialist that helps with veterans. Like there's a lot in there just besides the CRM that you can provide service to your clients as an individual if they need assistance in their individual space, or you can leverage it for yourself as far as if you need assistance for probate, short sales, data skip tracing. You can also leverage it for yourself.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point, Mason. Is I say it all the time. It's kind of like my tagline. I don't know if Daniel mentions it too much, but I say the Hivemind is not exactly the software, right? That's what it's called. But the Hivemind is the network that we're bringing together of the human beings. We've had people tell us that they've seen masterminds similar to ours, priced at 20 to 50,000, and it's just our MO. It's like what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. We're connecting with the most powerful minds in the industry, and we're bringing them together to network with and service our members, so that we can partner with those people and have access to, that type of knowledge to do more deals at a higher rate. So yeah, we think a lot about that, and that's a component that I love about the software. Daniel's more of the back end IT part of it. I'm more of the front man. Yeah, so I'm loving the networking part of this thing, and I think that's everything. That's what sets us apart from everybody else. Not only the mastermind, but also the hands-on customer support. So you're a user. You say, hey guys, there's one component that I'm not understanding or something that I would like to build out. We immediately get on the phone with you or on a Zoom with you, and we've spent hours with our clients now, just helping them get set up and get moved. So yeah, it's not like you just subscribe to CRM and now, like you said, you're on your own. This is like a family. This is a network. Like you're hardwired into the system now. So that's a part that I'm really loving about Hive.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I appreciate the other day how you pinged me on one of my Facebook listings, and we're like, what's this price? What are you doing? And you're like, no, I'm just playing, man. I'm just trying to boost your Facebook algorithm ranking on this.
Just trying to look out for our people, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, you all both walk the walk, so not just a bunch of talk. And actually that's kind of transition to the next question, because it's good that you're not just marketers and just selling content and selling the software, but you're actually in it, you're doing it, you're doing your own deals. So why don't we discuss kind of your approach to real estate investing? And some people send out mailers, some people do some online marketing or other stuff. So what do you do, and how do you do it?
I feel like I kind of hacked the system. I know Daniel, he's a owner of the List Guys, a list company, and he provides data. He has lots of reviews where people say, hey, we love what you're offering. We have hundreds of thousands of dollars locked up. So I know his service is amazing. But I've always been an online lead generation guy. So I've always done pay-per-click online, both on Google and on Facebook, probably for approaching 15 years now. So mine is more of a passive approach. I wake up in the morning, I got leads in my inbox. I'm focusing primarily on land. I've been doing land covering the whole state of Texas, but now with the Hive, we're looking to expand into all 50 states. So I'll still flip 1 to 3 houses a year, but I'm primarily focused on inbound lead generation, and I'm looking at flipping land, not developing, or no roofs, no toilets, none of that stuff.
The biggest thing is there's no wrong way to do marketing. It's just you have to do it. It doesn't matter what you do and how you do it. You just have to do it. So some people prefer mailers, some people prefer cold calling, some people prefer texting, some people prefer Facebook ads. There's no wrong way to do it. And like I said, I don't knock any other way. Like I said, I provide lists, and that's another job that I provide and resources I provide. But I don't knock any other which way that they do it. Like you can get a deal by networking probate attorneys. That doesn't cost you anything. It's just getting on the phone and leveraging your time, active professional, providing a resource to probate attorneys. So there's no wrong way to do it. You just have to find something that you can do consistently and do that consistently. So I had a call literally 30 minutes ago before this call. He's bought 20,000 leads on my list, and he now has 6 deals under contract. He's closing on one Monday and another one Friday. So it doesn't really matter what you do. It's just a matter that you're doing something. So that's my biggest thing, is that a lot of people, they think they're doing enough when they're really not. And me personally, like, it took me 7 months to get my deal, is because I wasn't doing it full time. And when you start doing stuff consistently, you'll get results, but you have to do it consistently. That's the key.
Okay. So if I'm running like a Facebook ad to find sellers, what would the copy look like if I was doing that?
So
I like to go broad. You want to take it, Daniel?
yeah, you go ahead. You're good.
I like to go broad, man. So I like the people who come across my content to not feel, like maybe that my company is not for them. So in my online lead generation efforts, I'm as broad as possible. So like right now, one of the ads that I'm winning big with says a Texas land buyer, and that's it. Like, hey, we're looking to buy your vacant land, ugly land, tax problems, all that stuff. Just a picture of a nice, field, green grass, because those are the types of properties that I'm looking for. But I try not to get too niche specific. And that even goes for my targeting as well. I try not to even mess with the targeting. I would just like wait for 100 conversions and then build a retargeting campaign, stuff like that, look like audience, instead of trying to get very, very niche specific on the inbound pay-per-click side.
So
Okay. Yeah.
When you're broad like that, you cast a larger net, and you can bring in a lot more things if you're more specific. So for us, we really like the land because not a lot of people are going after it, and we get a cheaper cost per conversion. So that's a little nugget for you.
Yeah, land is low hanging fruit, man. Some people say, hey, don't teach the secret. Some people get mad because I teach land. But I think average house in Texas, like average assignment fee is somewhere between like $13,000 and $15,000. And the smaller land deals that we're doing are in excess of like 20 and 25. I like to start my targeting roughly at about 50,000 profit and up. So yeah, I think land is probably the easiest low hanging fruit out of every niche out there that not too many people are focusing on. So that's why we chose that space.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have heard that there's more people doing land now, and it's always going to be the case, but it's obviously not nearly as saturated as single family houses, which is obviously what most people go to, and they think, oh, I want to get involved in real estate and be a real estate billionaire. So they go and buy a rent house like MLS or something and make the first rookie mistake, Actually, myself included, I did that when first starting out. It was not a good idea. That's why it's not cash flowing, because the cash flow is just enough to meet the escrow for the taxes and insurance. It's a very frustrating process, those turnkey properties. But if I was like just starting out and I was frustrated, stuck in one of those dips where I was considering abandoning, and I'm asking this question because I think there's a net inflow and outflow of people in land and real estate in general. It's not just people coming in and never leaving. People do definitely leave. So how would you recommend someone kind of lean into that dip and like get out of it, that low point in their real estate investing career?
I'll tell you, there's two sides to that puzzle right there. For one, I feel like nobody should ever be in a rut. When I came into real estate investing, I had never bought a piece of property before. I hadn't even never been a homeowner either. And this is just over 2 years ago now. But I knew I was going to do a lot of deals because I had a good understanding of marketing. So I feel like if somebody is in a rut in their career right now, or it's been a while since they've gotten a deal, all I would do is I would just turn up the juice on the marketing to 100. And pick a strategy, pick two strategies. Daniel and I provide consulting just to help you design a strategy, but pick a strategy, turn the volume up to 1 million, and then just run with it. And I keep saying it, and I really mean it. You can just trip over a deal if you do enough marketing. Like if somebody filled out a form on one of my sites one time, they said, I have 10 acres, I want 10,000. Like, how much easier can the deal get, man? I mean, the guy sold himself before I even talked to him. So you come across stuff like that all the time.
I would say partnering, because like I said, for me personally, I wasn't doing it consistently enough. So I partnered with Anthony, and I have known Anthony for about 1.5 years now, and we clicked. And I've only met Anthony twice. He lives in San Antonio. I live in California. When I met him, I lived in Georgia at the time. So it's not even about finding somebody that you actually live nearby and have a relationship with. Like me and Anthony, we talk every day. We're doing business now together. So it's more of, and like I said, you can always, it's when you partner with people, you can fill in the gaps as far as what your weaknesses is. So if you find a good partner, I think that's a hack too, because doing it yourself, it gets really tiring really fast. So I think the hack and getting out of a dip is finding a partner and providing your skills and filling in their gaps. So as far as whatever they need, and I think that's the hack. If you can provide, if you can fill in that space that they need help in, you're always going to be a resource to them.
I think that's one of the underlying principles behind the hive mind. And we use this internal tag privately. We say that the hive knows everything, right? Because we are building a network, a human network of all the greatest minds across the country. So if you can lean on other people's resources, like Daniel said, partner with people that know something that you don't know. Sometimes people are good at generating leads and not really so good at selling them. So yeah, connecting with other people and networking is a super hack in this business that would quickly pull you out of a rut if you can just connect with the right people, get around the right circles.
So I told Anthony, I was like, I know a little bit about multifamily, but I'm not a multifamily expert. The benefit of leveraging other people is you can always, hey, you don't have to know everything, but if you have the time, resources, or money, you can always leverage an expert and leverage their knowledge. You never have to learn it. Anthony knows nothing of the CRM. He hasn't logged in the CRM personally in a long time. But he doesn't need to, because he has me and other people in the back end to actually service the CRM. So it's knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are, and just going hard on what your strengths are and leverage out your weaknesses. So if you're stuck in a rut and you're not doing any deals, find somebody that you can fill in that gap. Use your skills and fill in that gap for somebody else, and you'll be instantly out of the dip.
Okay. Yeah, one thing I like too about the group is like just hearing other people and what deals they're working on just keeps me motivated to say, well, if this person can do it, then I mean, what's stopping me? I'm my own bottleneck. I just need to get out of my own way and just, let the business run. So
I think it's getting yourself around the right people, man. So there's a girl, she just came into the hive, I want to say 2 weeks ago, max. And the biggest deal she's done so far has been $8,000 in land. She's in California. She found a deal southeast of San Antonio, about an hour away, in a town that probably nobody's heard of. And I told her, I said, hey, how much are you thinking about selling this thing for? She goes, I don't know. I was going to offer like 20, sell it for like 25. And I told her, I think that's property. You can probably list it for about 99 to 125. I said, that's a $80,000 to $100,000 hit plus. So she pushed it out at 57,000, and she's getting like, I don't know, 10, 20 messages, like every couple of days. Like her price point is crazy low. So now she's positioned herself to make $37,000 for the first time, just with a couple of tweaks of just getting around the hive and being around it and being in other, like if I wasn't in this market, that she'd have had no way to know what that property was worth. And it would have been just another day in the office, another $5,000 hit. Yeah. So I said, it's just getting out of your own way, get involved with the larger circles, and you're going to close more deals, bigger deals more often.
okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But one thing that you also mentioned on the Clubhouse room is these like free real estate strategies. So why don't we get into that, and maybe it'll also enlighten some people.
Okay, yeah, man, this is something that I really love to talk about. Usually when like a wholesaler shows up to a deal, they're thinking, I'm going to make a 50% offer or a 30% offer. Some courses in land teach like make a 10 or 20% offer. I'm getting there without a number in mind. I'm looking for a creative strategy. So I'm trying to see what I can do to take control of that property for as little as zero out of pocket. So here's what it looks like in land, and it works in houses too. Somebody has a property, it's become burdensome. Either it's a tax burden, it needs too much work, it needs cleanup. It's like this monster that's become out of control for this person. So what I would do is a couple things. I will find out what they need financially, right? Let's say, for instance, a gentleman needs $100,000. That's his sell price. Every wholesaler he's talked to is at 40 to 60. So when I get there, he's like, are you just going to offer me 50,000 like everybody else? Nope. I'm going to give you 100, sir. So he's already super excited to work with me. He loves it. He's like, okay, this is amazing. In some cases, I'd even offer more. I'll say, you know what? I can give you 110 for this property, or 120. Now he's super hooked. He's not going anywhere. The way that I would do it is I would evaluate the property. I would say, okay, sir, I know 100's a lot of money. What do you need that money for? He's like, well, I don't exactly need 100, but I need 20 to clear some stuff up, clear up some bad debt. I got to do all these other things. So my goal in that situation would be, okay, look, I'll put the 20 in your pocket. I'll take over the property and I'm going to list this thing on the market for 150 or 199, you know, after I take down some trees, drop in a culvert, cut the grass, whatever the case is. But I want to take control of that property for as little as possible. And I have video testimony on my phone where a girl came into my office, signed me a deed over to the property, $0. Her testimony says I'm in my, you know, right state of mind. I'm in a sound state. I'm giving you this property and here you go, it's over. And all she did was 100%. I'm the owner now, 0 out of pocket. And she's just to be paid when I sell the property. So those are the kinds of strategies that I look for as where we can get into something using a creative approach. Right now, I tied up a property for $550, $575. I plan to make at least $75,000 on that one. We just raised it today, another 50. So we're going for like 125 profit on this one. I got a 90-day option for $2,100. So in that case, somebody else might have bought that property for $500 or $575 to try to flip it and make a couple hundred. And we've had $2,000 tied up into that thing. And like I said, we're going for, you know, roughly 100K profit. So those are the kinds of creative strategies that I'm always looking for and I have my radar on for. And it's funny because if you have your radar on for those more often than not, then that's what will show up in your business.
And that was a simple strategy as far as asking how much the taxes were. So the thing about land is that land has no value till you do something with it. So literally they have to pay taxes every year. So I think for that one, he figured out how much taxes are for that 90-day period. And he's like, I'll cover the taxes for that 90-day period. That way you never have to worry about the taxes. So whether we sell the property or not, you still cover that taxes for 3 months.
Yep. Another quote unquote free is I have a gentleman, he has a property selling us about 39 acres here in San Antonio in a major part of the city. We negotiated $250,000 because the property needs massive cleanup. And we got that one. We don't have to close for 3 years. So, you know, as soon as we get that deed signed into our name, we're immediately going to start cleaning and marketing the property right away, hoping to sell it before we even have to clean it up. We'll sell it at a lower price. If we end up doing all the cleanup, then of course we're going to raise it. But those are the kinds of strategies that we're looking for, you know, where we can tie up stuff for nothing for extended periods of time so that we can recondition them and then recirculate them into the marketplace at above market value.
Sure. And rinse and repeat. Makes a lot of sense. But I've heard also that you've done some Sub2 deals, Anthony. Could you go into that a little bit? Because I think on a Sub2, where you're taking over the debt, the deed hasn't actually transferred to you yet, or has it? Can you just talk about that?
Yep. So with the Sub2, the property stays in it, the existing mortgage stays in place. And they just give you a deed to the property as you're the new owner. So you want to usually, I'm not going to give legal advice, but the way that we did it is we deeded the property into a trust. That way, when it's filed down at the county, maybe the mortgage or the lender doesn't see who the current property is. It's like 123 Street LLC trust or whatever you're going to call it. So that's one thing you can do. In this particular case, the girl needed to bail out of the house. She was one payment behind. So it was a 3,000 square foot, wood floors, granite countertops, white rock front, just a beautiful house, you know, only like 12 years old or something. And she said, you know, she's here's what I'm going to do. She was like, I'm going to give it to the bank or I'm going to give it to you, whatever you want to do. So I ended up paying 2 payments by the time we worked out the paperwork, $4,000. I'm into this beautiful $250,000 home. And I said, hey, can I give you, you know, $5,000 for, you know, giving me the house? And she said, nope, I don't want any money at all. She said, just don't pay my mortgage late. So boom, free house.
Okay. And do you sign some like side agreement saying that I, Anthony, will be responsible for your mortgage, or how does that work?
Yeah, we have the documentation like that. It's like a normal buyer-seller agreement. It says, yes, I'm buying the house subject to the existing mortgage. And, you know, I'm going to do right by you, that kind of thing. So if let's say we stop paying, she can still come back, foreclose, take the house back, that kind of thing. But yeah, those deals are excellent. We're always looking for those. The best ones that work out are the ones that either have a lot of equity or they're very brand new. Like if it's just a house, it's a year or two old that needs no rehab at all. Yeah, sometimes you can snag those up, you know, just walk right into a brand new house and not have too much to dish out of pocket. You can instantly walk into profit.
You make payments on their behalf is a terminology. So you're not actually taking over the mortgage. So the right terminology is you make payments on their behalf. But
yeah, that's good clarity there.
There's another strategy that Anthony's used too. the seller wanted $8,000 for a piece of property, and I don't know what it was worth. I can't remember what it was worth, but he sold it essentially with $8,000 down and just paid the closing costs, and then now he cash flows a note that he's essentially a deed of trust on.
Yeah, so we do stuff like that too. People think about in terms of how much returns you're going to get in real estate, right? So your money lenders and these guys that are making 12 and 14%, and everybody's like so happy because you're the boss, your money lender, you're making 12%. We've ran the numbers on some of our deals, and they're like 6,600% return, within like 60 days or something. Just the numbers that we're doing, they don't make sense. There's no reference point for them. And then even like one step above that is what Daniel just mentioned, where you get infinite returns. So we look for properties where we can sell them on a wrap or just resell it on a double close without ever taking $1 out of your pocket. Yeah. So yeah, $8,000 property, 5 acres. I found somebody that would put $8,000 down, sold it to them for, $35,000 or something like that. So we're always keeping our eyes peeled for those. So that's another, reference to that free real estate, is that you find a property that you can get low enough and then turn around and resell that property where your purchase price is the new buyer's down payment. And yeah, I've done quite a few of those, and they've worked out really, really well. And we're always on the hunt for those.
There's so many exit strategies you can do with that too. So somebody we met in our network, he recently sold a property like that, and he was getting $1,000 a month, but he wanted to cash it out. So he just sold his note. So he essentially created a note out of nothing with a down payment. So now he has a note where it's worth $90,000 on paper, and sold that note. And I think he sold it for like $85,000 or something like that cash. So just by making a no cash deal, you can still turn that note, as long as it's cash flowing for a few months, you can sell that note to a note buyer and they'll give you cash for it. So there's still ways to essentially get cash from it, even though you're not really creating cash up front. You can sell that note in the back end and still turn that into cash.
Yeah, I've heard that you have to have them seasoned, but I didn't realize it was just a few months. So that's great.
It depends on the note buyer themselves. Some of them have different parameters that they look at, but if it's not seasoned like a year or whatever, but they'll pay less for it. I mean, a note's a note, and it does have some value. Like I said, it's tied to the land, so there's an asset tied to it. So worst case scenario, they can foreclose on the land and sell it again, and they're the note holder. And typically, they only bought that note for whatever they sold it to you for. So, and they're still leveraged on as a deed of trust. So there's a lot of security in that. So like I said, there's no set rule as far as they're not going to buy it after 6 months seasoning, whatever, all that stuff. It's really depending on the individual note buyer and what their comfortability is.
Okay. You say deed of trust. If you actually were to foreclose on it, you'd have to go to the courthouse steps and like bid on your own property. Is that right?
No, you wouldn't be bidding against yourself. You would just file a foreclosure.
That's a foreclosure. So deed of trust is your securement to the property. So the mortgage and the deed aren't connected. They're only connected by the deed of trust. So the deed of trust is your instrument to foreclose, not an auction.
Okay. So it's still non-judicial, where you just take back the property. You don't have to go through any procedure.
You still have to go through a procedure and an attorney, but it's not through the courthouse steps like an auction is.
Okay, got it. What if I just sold a property that had my inventory on terms, and I guess you call it a contract for deed, where I didn't set up a deed of trust or anything like that?
Technically, you're still the owner. So when you do a contract for deed, you're still the owner, and you have rights to sell that property to whoever you want because you're still the owner. It's just the contract for the deed has to follow the ownership. So they have to abide by whatever your contract for deed terms were.
Right, exactly. But we haven't actually recorded anything in county records, so the deed hasn't transferred. So I could just easily take it back as long as I can get them to vacate the property, I guess.
Yeah, and that's different than deed of trust, because the deed of trust, you're actually signing over ownership of the deed, whereas a contract for deed, you just have a contract, and once they finish paying off the terms of the contract, then they receive the deed.
Okay. Well, then why would you go through the trouble of setting up the deed of trust? Like, how is that advantageous to just
So the deed of trust, that for that strategy, he sold the property outright. So he was essentially a lien holder. So when you're a lien holder, you get the deed of trust. So in that instance, he didn't do a contract for a deed. He actually sold the property outright and held his position back in as a lien holder. So as a lien holder, he sold his note, which is secured by the deed of trust.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I think it makes more sense too if you're like familiar with the specifics of each deal. So got it.
Yeah, it's two different strategies. You doing the contract deed is just a contract, where he actually sold the property, so he's a lien holder. So it's two different scenarios.
Okay, perfect. Well, I feel like we've covered a good amount of material here. Is there anything else that y'all feel like should be covered that we haven't hit on yet?
I do want to mention the Hivemind though, because one of our biggest goals as the Hivemind and Hivemind users is that we do offer a affiliate fee. So if anybody listening to this wants to sign up, go to Mason's link, and I'm sure I'll have it somewhere attached to this podcast or somewhere on this Facebook page. One of the biggest things we want to offer is that anybody that signs up, we want to eventually eliminate your marketing budget. So if we offer cash flow, any users that sign up, Mason gets $40 per month per user that sign up. So eventually we'll want that to do as we grow as a brand. We want you to use other people's links and eventually support their own marketing budget. Imagine the perfect scenario is that all of our top tier users that share our platform, we pay for their marketing budget because of the users they brought in, and you actually get paid to find real estate deals. There's no other company out there doing it to the aspect that we are, and we feel like we have a good product at a good price point, that we provide so much value that we want our users to eventually get paid to find real estate deals. And with the network we're providing inside of it, you get opportunities for JV deals, opportunities for pay for your marketing. There'll be a lot of opportunity inside of it as well, just for all the users that come into it. So I think we're providing a lot of value as far as in the real estate niche as well. So I'm hoping that we blow up and all of our users make $10,000 a month where they don't have to pay for marketing ever again, and they get hundreds of deals fed to them, and their software is free. I think that's the biggest thing about it. So I'm excited to see people leverage it out. It's like we already have one user, he's making almost like $400 a month right now. So I'm excited to see that how many users take this over the next 6 months to a year, and see how big a scale they can reach as far as in their own personal. So we'd rather, a lot of people, they think $200 a month cash flow, like you said, if you bought that rental property and you're barely cash flowing this. With this, there's no management of the product, there's no maintenance, there's no property repairs, there's nothing to this product. It's a digital product that you can cash flow from just by being a user of it. It's freaking amazing.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to say about the Hive is that, let's say you decide not to join the Hivemind and you just continue however you were going to continue in on your business. The more infrastructure you have, right? So let's say now you're running a team and you have 8 dispo guys and you have 10 acquisitions guys, and you're spending, $4,000 a month on marketing. You have a lot of infrastructure. You have a lot of responsibility. So now you've created this machine that can either collapse or consume you at any time, right? It could eat up your net worth or your marketing budget, whatever level you're playing at. But with the Hive, it's like the bigger your team gets, the more profit you're making now, right? So you have other users that you bring on through your affiliate link. You have users across the country that you can access and lean on their time and resources. And what we noticed is that, even before the Hive, is that people that I would train would bring me back deals, that we would JV on. Some of my biggest deals have been referrals. So my vision for the Hive is that once we're big enough, or your team's big enough, then your marketing budget goes to zero and your lead flow is continuing to increase. The size of your team is continuing to increase at the same rate that your profitability is going up. So the bigger your team gets, your infrastructure costs actually go below zero and you go into profit. So I haven't seen a business model that does this yet in real estate, and we're excited to see how it progresses. We're proud of what we're doing, and we're ready to take these things to the next level. If somebody says, hey, well, yeah, I have a CRM that does the same thing. But what we do to differentiate ourselves is we drive high volume leads. We're building a network across the globe to help you close more real estate transactions. But we will personally get on the phone and negotiate some of these zero free real estate transactions, close them on your behalf, and we even help you find the funding, or we'll even buy the deals from you. So, I mean, we're boots in the ground. We're doing it. We're not messing around. We're providing unmatched support, and I think we're really, really onto something big.
Okay, that's very exciting. And just to clarify, to put it another way, what you're saying is people can sign up through my affiliate link, which I'll definitely include in the show notes, but then they can also get their own affiliate link, and then they can then start to create their own team if they want to eventually.
Yeah, and the one thing about our product is it's not just for real estate people. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, and everybody has a small side hustle they might do on the side. This product can go through so different areas. Like, we're working with a person that sells cigars, working with a person that has a personal brand, he does property management, he does trucking. Like, there's so many other things that you can integrate into our system that this can go for so many other people in the world. So if just by talking about the system, there'll be people out there that will be interested in it. So there's so many different people that can use our digital product that it should be pretty easy to sell once you show them what we're doing and what the service we're providing. Because a lot of people don't even know there's a service out there that can do all the things that we do in our system. So it's just spreading the word.
Yeah, and it really pays for itself. I think people may not realize that you have one you pay for Zapier, for example, or Airtable, and it's like $25 a month for that one. You turn around 25 here, 25 there, and it's like you're already paying more than what you pay just to Hivemind. So it makes a lot of sense. And I'm actually considering, how do I do this transition? Because I still have like inbound leads, and I'm still trying to kind of straddling in between the two systems, but I can definitely see it just making a lot of sense, all the synergies, just to completely transition over.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. Like, Anthony's now, like, he's integrated other users into our own CRM, and they're working on our own leads. So that's why I said he hasn't even touched his own CRM, and that's where we're willing to profit share. And you can do the same thing as well. Like, if you're good at inbound marketing, you do inbound marketing. And we're telling somebody the other day is that he does a lot of free information, but he's not getting paid for it. Well, it's like, if you're good at something, have them, even if it's minimal, have them pay for something. And that way, they're serious about it. So it's almost like an entry point. Like, $100 is nothing. I mean, it's not a lot to a lot of people. And for everything that we provide, there's so much more to gain just from the information that you're getting as well. So it's more of a how to leverage your skill to get what you want, as far as more deals, JVs, more partners, people in different markets. It's more of leveraging your own personal skill as far as if it's driving traffic or negotiations. You got to leverage your skill, and we'll help you negotiate and teach you how to leverage your skill properly versus doing it all yourself.
Definitely. I mean, and at the end of the day, it's a product that will pay for itself. Just sign up a few people as well, and then that's it. So, yeah.
What we're doing right now is we're not allowing anybody to sign up direct to the company. You have to come in through a partner link. And we're doing that to build a culture, build a family. We want our users to get profitable as quickly as possible, because ultimately the end game is not being profitable off the software. The end game is building up that human network. So we're trying to get people that, first movers advantage, first people to sign up. Let's get you in the profit. Let's get you connected. And let's start doing some deals, sooner than later.
And that's what makes our system so powerful, is the people. The definition of the Hivemind is a network of people coming together to think as one. And the software is a catalyst for it, but the thing that drives and gives it power is the people. So we want to make sure we can touch as much people as possible. That way we can spread the influence, because what gives it the power is the people, 100%.
Okay. So I'm trying to think in terms of like any contact information we should leave our listeners if they wanted to get in touch with y'all, like maybe a Facebook link or the link to the clubhouse that we do every Saturday at 12 p.m. Central, or what do y'all think is best?
I think if they go to the page, right, the Hivemind CRM page on Facebook, that's kind of like one of the central contact points for everything. Is free to join. We usually drop links in there, but I would say, get connected with us on Facebook. And of course, check out your link below the show notes so they can learn a little bit more about the Hive and how it works. But yeah, it's free to join the Facebook page, and we're happy to even answer people's questions in there and help people that aren't even in the network yet.
Okay, very good. Daniel, did you have anything else?
No, that was it. Like I said, I'm just for me and Anthony. I know we're just excited to we're excited to be a help and a bigger help for more people out in the world. So I know it's like a personal thing for me and Anthony to bring as much value as possible and help as many people as possible.
All right, perfect. Yeah, definitely appreciate y'all coming onto the show and just also being willing to help. I mean, just it clearly shows and need more people like y'all in the world, you know? So thanks again for coming on the show.
All right, no problem.
Yeah, thank you for having us, man. This was fun. Look forward to doing it again soon. And yeah, we'll see you on the groups.
All right, perfect. All right, that's another episode of Scalable Real Estate Investing. Thank you for tuning in. Please be sure to leave a review and subscribe on whatever channel you're using to listen or watch these episodes. And also be sure to go to scalablerealestateinvesting.com, scroll to the bottom, and fill out the form to sign up for our email. And you could also reach me directly at mason@scalablerealestateinvesting.com. That's MASON at scalablerealestateinvesting.com. If you'd like to get in touch with me to either partner on deals or even be considered to do your own episode on this podcast. Thanks again, and have a great day.